Hello and welcome to our first version of the Pinball Machine working. So as you can see, there's still like sort of the back panel taken off and stuff, but we mainly have a lot of these things that are taken off too. We just sort of put on the table to be redesigned or sort of just like completely removed. But you can see most of this system already works. So if I turn this on, you can see that we have all the lights working and you can completely play the game mostly. So as you can see, we have this little beginning side over here. So the ball would come from here and sort of pop down here. And then you can shoot it up with the plunger. You got the whole game field. And this is here the thing that pulls it up. And then just overall look at the machine. It's your typical 1974 Bon Voyage machine, which we are redesigning. So you can see all the parts around here if you want to take a quick look. Overall, it's pretty well. If you compare it to an image, you can see that we have like a bunch of these sides off, which are placed down here. But that's mainly because we are currently redesigning the whole system to a York University sort of theme. Okay, let's turn this off for a second. But we are sort of redesigning this to a sort of York University themed pinball machine. We do have it mainly working though, so pretty much you can play the game with some minor here and there's little broken parts or stuff like that. So the only real sort of non-working parts in the sort of play area are some of these LEDs. This one works, but there's some LEDs throughout here. When you're playing, you can see some of these LEDs that do not turn on when you press the buttons. These two do not work currently. And then we just need a rubber band for here, which we need to replace because it is broken right now. But mainly just in the gameplay right now, the only like real issues are very small issues such as non-working LEDs or like one missing rubber band. And if you come back to the back here, you can see that there's a bunch of LEDs. We do have missing sort of spots here, but that's because we took off all of these sort of non-working ones. But you can see like this one works completely fine. This counters. That counter works as well fine. It's reset to 0 right now. And you can see like a couple of damages on the frame itself, which will most likely not be an issue. So our plan with this sort of right now is to sort of have a whole like LED display, preferably, because we were obviously retheming it, and this would allow us to sort of create a sort of York University themed scenario. But if not, we would at least like to sort of replace this counter to a display, and then we can sort of just redesign the old little theme over here we have. So you can see that there's like just your 1974 Bon Voyage, and you can just, we'd sort of be replacing the little frame in this worst case scenario. I'm gonna pause right here and sort of just bring this upwards to show you the inside. So looking at the inside, you can see this is the little play area. So all the electronics for the play area. You can start to see the insides of the machine as well. So one actually major issue we have is we do not have this sort of coin machine slot working. So our next sort of plan is to sort of make sure that this works. But other than that, all the electronics works. As I said, the game works. We can play the game by just, there's supposed to be a button here, but you can press this button and it'll actually start playing the game. But overall, all the other electronics do work. It's probably a best idea to replace this transformer if we can for the next version, you could say, of our game. And then we sort of have this, which is sort of loose compared to the rest of them, which have the seal on it. So we would be sort of getting the seal for this very soon. But other than that, all the electronics work fairly well. You can see that these two are related to the coin slot machine. You can read it actually over here. I'm sorry, I don't have my, there we go. And then so you can see that it's the second coin chute. This is the first coin chute. And then this will be where the third coin chute goes, but we do not have one currently, so there's nothing in there. And so everything else is clearly labeled, so just credits, lock, and and stuff like that. This is sort of like a clock cycle thing in French, like computers and stuff. So it's sort of like a disk where it sort of does a clock cycle. And then this whole little raw thing is to actually, you can see from the side actually, to reset the whole entire game. So once this spins, it'll sort of reset the game itself. And then there's a bunch of wiring, and as I said, there's a bunch of little here. And then over here, you can see this is a connection for the coin slot machine. This is a connection actually to this right here. Oops, sorry, it's blurry. To that where you can actually see that's to detect if you hit the machine or if you tilt the machine at all. This is the same thing. Once this hits over here, there's a contact point right there. But once it hits over there, it would sort of cancel your gameplay, and it would require another 25 cents to play again. Over here, you can see there's some wires for the. I like to call this the audio system, and then some other wires that go backwards and stuff like that. But overall, it did take us approximately 2 months to sort of get this working, sort of a version 1 working. But it's not a complete version. We would love to have a sort of Arduino system in here so we can get the LEDs on and stuff. But overall, we had to replace a bunch of sort of components that were not working, such as these over down here. So replace some of these little contact pieces on the clock cycles. And stuff like that, and it sort of took us 2 months to sort of know what is wrong. And like I said before, we still have a lot of these LEDs to replace, not a bunch, but a good amount. So once we do get those LEDs, we can sort of replace them and get it completely working. But that is if we have the design the same exact. If we do change out the design, we probably have to move the positioning, and the LED count may go up or go down, but that completely depends on our design. But other than that, you can sort of see little areas, little counter things, sort of when the ball goes through it. This would sort of pull down and stuff. You can see the sort of spinner, the left and right TVs, and then the point counter and hole. But other than that, I believe this is what we have over here. And then I'll sort of show you a working system right now, so sort of playing it. So we can have here this turned on, so just a little sort of thing. When these lights are on, these lights are on, that means the game is over. And then these 5 LEDs do count the sort of how many lives you have left. The first one rarely works. It's probably a loose wiring they have to find out, or it's either just a bulb not working. And then the 5th one actually doesn't work sometimes. But you can still play the game. So if I come back here and I actually have a Sharpie, I press the button right here, you'll see that it'll first get reset, and then that was the ball coming here. And if I start playing, actually, so here, I am playing with one hand, so I might not be the best right now, but probably make it work. Yeah, it's not really perfect with one hand, but we'll make it work. As you can see, it affected. Oops, yeah, I gotta play that. Let's see. So this isn't at an angle right now, like our optimal angle, so it's not really, oops. I'll find a better thing this way, but it's not at an angle where we sort of, the ball would come down smoothly or faster at a normal rate. That is due to one of those little stand things being broken right now. Once we do get that sort of out, we can sort of put it at our optimal height. But let me find somewhere. If I find something to do here. I know this is not the best angle right now, but first scene it being played. That is definitely my fault. This is the one and hope for the best. The camera is at 30 seconds. Oops. Actually here, that's idea. So you can sort of see that, it works and stuff, but just to show you different parts of the machine, I'll just take the ball to do this. So you can see like this, shoot the ball back, and well that little do is what the points bring up. But just show you parts, so like this works, so this works, and you can see that these work. You got the G. These don't work if you press these first, and then you can see like sort of the counter works as well, and then this one works as well. Oops, I missed that. We would have a ball here. We're missing one ball at the moment, but the key is here that you would hit the ball inside here, and then that would go sort of further and up and down. And then you can sort of see different points area. So like these are letters plus points if you already got the letter. I think I already did B here, but like this. And then this is where the rubber band is missing right now, but it does work. Be careful here. Yeah, it does work. And then you have this. We just removed the cap for now, but if you look at sort of what it does, it sort of the ball would sort of push down on this plate, and then that would knock it down. So both of them do work as of right now. And then this is the sort of alleyways. You get these letters once it's lit, so you can press it here. Since I do have all the letters, you would get I believe it's 3,000 coins if you just hit that. But other than that, yeah, everything else works on game. You can see. And then I believe this is. Oh, I got 3 more lives actually. But if I place it here. And to sort of make it fair is if you just place your ball here, right? If you don't get any points at all and somehow land it here, are pretty rare. But it would sort of just give you bonus points if possible, and it wouldn't take off a life if you didn't have bonus points. But if you don't get bonus points, then you actually don't decrease a life, and it just shoots the ball back up. That's to ensure that you don't lose sort of a life if the sort of system doesn't work properly. But other than that, here, let's see if I can, just for the sake of playing the game, you can see that the game is over right now. So overall, we do have a working system as of this moment, and our next sort of steps are just to one, sort of redesign the whole machine, which shouldn't be too difficult, and second is to get this sort of coin slot machine working. There's sort of various ways to sort of go about this. One is sort of implementing a newer version of a coin system machine, or what we can do is also just replace this. In a whole, we would probably find our best option. So if in either version 2 or our final version, you would sort of see this working as a whole. But other than that, that's about what we have, and I hope to see you guys in version 2 and our final version. Thank you.